Good morning. It is Tuesday. That means we have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. Stay tuned. Share this out. Go ahead and put a description in there when you share it, what we're going to be talking about. Kurt, let everybody know what's going on today.
Hey, we're going to be talking about thyroid. So if you have a comment or a question relating to thyroid, or if you have another question as well, we'll try to get all of the questions answered as possible. But we are going to be talking about thyroid, the tricky thyroid.
Yeah, the other thing we're doing after Dr. Chapa is done, we're going to have another guest. And before that, we're going to be giving away a year's supply of Chick-fil-A. So stay tuned and make sure that you are the winner. We may be calling your name.
Yeah, so go ahead and share this out and let people know.
We're going to see if we can go on the FM right now. And here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
We have Dr. Aaron Chapa from Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center in studio. Good morning, Dr. Chapa. How are you doing today?
Oh, guys, it's great to be here. This is Dr. Chapa, and I feel alive today. Who feels alive out there?
I do. I feel great.
I feel fantastic.
I hope everybody out there is feeling fantastic. And if you are, make sure that you share, like, and comment, and tune into our show every week. We love being here, sharing the most up-to-date health information available and answering your questions on how to live well, be well, one bite at a time.
I agree. And if you are watching and you do want to share, I'm going to challenge you, maybe share this into a Facebook group. If you're listening on 99.5 FM, feel free to call a friend. Tell them, hey, I'm listening on the KHEA radio app. You know, maybe you don't live in the same county. Maybe you live in a different state. Download the KHEA radio app, and then you can listen to Dr. Aaron Chapa on Tuesdays from anywhere in the world that you have internet. That's all you need is the internet, and you can access the app and listen about thyroid issues. If you're having issues, maybe we can learn about fixing that today. What can you do to help? I don't know.
Absolutely. So, you know, thyroid issues are a talk of the town, so to speak, a talk of taco. And so
Talk of thyroid.
Yeah, talk of thyroid. And thyroid issues are going on all around us today. Some of these conditions are, you know, legitimate thyroid diagnostic, you know, symptoms that can be traced. Some of them just people have functional illnesses where they have signs and symptoms of a thyroid glitch, but it's not really diagnosable through blood work or the testing. And that's what we find a lot of times is most of the people don't realize your thyroid is a diesel engine. It drives the metabolism throughout all your body. Every cell in your body has a receptor for thyroid hormones, and so it is without a doubt a very important gland, not an organ. It is a gland, and it is a definite key component in your overall what we call hypothalamic thyroid adrenal gonadal axis, your endocrine axis. The stronger and more metabolic this system is, the healthier it is, the less dysfunctional it is, the more you will feel alive, and your overall well-being and vitality will continue to soar all the days of your life.
So the main thing I took from that is your thyroid is a gland. Where is it, and what is its purpose?
Yeah, absolutely. The thyroid lives behind your Adam's apple. It lives in your neck. And your thyroid is in the line of chain from the hypothalamus down through the pituitary, down to the thyroid, down to your adrenals, and down to your sex organs. And without the thyroid in conversation, the cells don't get upregulated. The cells don't communicate to their downstream counterparts. And so we get feedback loop problems. We have metabolic problems. We have weight gain issues. We have hair issues, losing hair a lot of times excessively. And people feel mentally run down and sluggish. People feel like, they just don't feel themselves, like something is off. I've even seen it's on the other side of it where people have palpitations, where they feel their heart beating out of their chest when they have a thyroid glitch.
Kurt, you mentioned earlier something about one of your brothers, I think.
Yeah, my brother, my middle brother, so he was the one who was 2 years younger than me. Growing up, I just remember him having to go to the doctor all the time because of a thyroid issue.
And how old is he?
Right now, he's 29, 28.
He's looking at me like I know.
2 years younger than me.
I haven't had the pleasure yet.
All growing up, probably from when I was like, maybe since he was like 9, 10 years old, he was going to the doctor to fix his thyroid issue. And they would be like, well, his thyroid numbers have changed, so we got to adjust his dosage of medicine.
So what would they give him? Any idea? Just
I don't. It was some sort of thyroid medicine, but his elbows were always like chalky, like chalky.
Is that an issue that has to do with thyroid?
Yeah, because another issue that people oftentimes see when they have a sluggish or dysfunctional thyroid is skin issues. And again, if every cell in the body has a receptor for a thyroid hormone, the skin is definitely your largest organ. You would see different signs and symptoms pop up. And I find a lot of times that the thyroid is bullied. It really rarely is the actual problem that is at hand inside whatever symptom patterns that you're dealing with. And that's the difference between you're diagnosed, like going to an endocrinologist and getting a diagnosis of a hypothyroid or hyperthyroid or an autoimmune thyroid versus understanding that there is an onslaught of other symptom issues going on that we have to ask questions. So when people come in to Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we're not just asking questions around your thyroid or we're going to let you tell us your story, but then we're going to elaborate on that story and we're going to start getting the full picture. Because if you just focus on the thyroid as a problem and the symptoms that you are having and ignore the other symptoms that could be going on in the body, things like constipation, things like the heart palpitations, things like joint pain in the shoulders or the neck. These are other clues that when you start putting the full puzzle pieces together, you start seeing, okay, my patches of dry skin might be from my thyroid, or my sweaty palms might be from my thyroid. The problem with medicine today is if it can't be diagnosed, like healthcare today is built around the idea that it's got to be in a blood panel. Something's got to be pathologically wrong with you in order to get a diagnosis so that we can now devise a treatment plan. The problem with that is most people with thyroid issues, rather, everybody has a thyroid, I hope, unless you've unfortunately had yours surgically removed or radioactively blown up, because these are the things that are going on, is you have symptom patterns that are functionally present, but yet you don't have a diagnosable condition. That's called functional hypothyroid, where you have a functional ill pattern that exhibits the glitch in the thyroid. But then we say, is it really the thyroid malfunctioning, or is the thyroid being bullied by some other factor? What could some of those factors be? Those factors could be anything from you're eating too much sugar in your diet. And so if you're getting, as a female, more than 6 teaspoons of sugar a day, that's just right around 100 calories of sugar sources a day, just like we talked about last week's show, that is a major problem for your metabolism. Let's say that you're constipated and you have an organ dysfunction and it backs up into the liver. So your liver's smart. It will never dump into an already toxic colon or in a toxic area. It's going to find a resource to get that stuff out of your body through some other means. It could be your skin. That's why people get dry skin, itchy skin. That's why people have acne. That's why people have psoriasis or eczema. Is because the skin is being used as an exit channel, because the liver is clogged up and sluggish, because the bowels aren't moving effectively. And you're thinking to yourself, well, that can't be me. But what if I told you that, what if you are having a bowel movement every day, but it's last week's meal? The average American has 10 to 15 meals caked up inside of them. And I really want people to grab that, because if you've got that level of putrefaction happening in your bowel, that is a toxic system. And therefore, the liver now sends a message to your thyroid and says, slow down mental function, slow down output and productivity, slow down memory abilities, and your body can't keep up with your workload.
So whenever your thyroid gets that message, does it get the message from the liver as well, saying like, hey, slow down with everything? And what does that mean? What happens whenever it slows down?
So if just like in your work environment, so if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're generating trash and waste every day just at breakfast. If you're opening up a package and serving it to your family, or if you're in a business meeting and there's 20 people in that room, when you walk out that room, when you walk in that room, the trash can in the room will be empty if the cleaning service did their job last night, right? Mm-hmm. So when you leave the business meeting 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours later, and everybody throws their coffee cups, their energy drinks, their Snickers bars, their rocket fuel,
Pop-Tarts.
artificial sugar, foods or fake foods that they're putting in. They throw all the waste into the wastebasket, right? So the art of doing business always generates some level of waste. Well, the thyroid is your metabolic engine. It drives every cell function to do a job all throughout the body. And so the thyroid produces these two hormones, T4 and T3. And T3 is the active form of the thyroid output, and it doesn't produce very much. The majority of hormone produced by your thyroid is T4. And the reason for that is because we've got to get the hormone in a carrier state, a non-active state, to your toes so that the toes can then convert the T4 into T3 and get metabolic action all the way to your toes. So when you see a slowdown, what happens is the liver sends that message to the thyroid and says, hey, bud, I need you to slow down production because you're generating too much waste. Because when does the body ever stop working? Hopefully never, right? And so
when you're like 120.
When you're 125, fully functional in spirit, mind, and body, and you go ahead and give up the ghost.
Right.
You've lived a full life and you're fully functional all those days. Your functional age is 60 years younger than your chronological age. That's what we should be striving for. It dawned on me to say stuff like this to people. Like, I sell an intangible. I'm selling a better you. I'm trying to encourage you, inspire you, light you up to the idea that what choices you make today will drive the next 10, 15 years of function, productivity, awareness, alertness, how engaged with the world you are. And I think that's what we start seeing as the older people get. They start getting crabby. They start getting cantankerous. They start getting frustrated more easily, loud noises. And I watch this even, with the elderly in my life, is my 4 kids, even though I think, and maybe they're not, but to me, I think they're well-mannered. I don't think they're crazy. But yet they irritate the elderly. And I find that it's because the elderly, they're not living fully functional. Their ability to process information at the rate of a speed of a toddler or a 10-year-old, is less. They're less able to process that speed, and so they get agitated by it, right? And so these are signs of metabolic decline. And as we age, we are all getting, like, our organ systems are declining, and that's called the pauses of life. And those pauses of life can be altered. But you're only as young as your oldest part. And so we want to get the thyroid to be as metabolically active all the days of our life to help us age more gracefully. And so right now the average, 1.75 million people have a hypothyroid walking around today.
What is it? Okay, so the thyroid, I understand if it has issues, the cause, and then it can have some effects on your body that are not good, right? But what does it even do? Like, what's the purpose of it? If it's removed, what happens to your body?
So metabolism begins to slow down. So you'll start gaining weight. That's a classic. Your energy, like your just mental processing speed, slows down. And so when people have thyroid challenges, they say to me, I can't lose weight anymore. I used to be able to lose weight easily, but now all of a sudden, nothing I do works. And so that's the classic thing that people don't like, because think about it. It's not so much that the weight is not appealing, right? It's what does the weight do to your joints? So if you're 10 pounds heavier right now, it's an extra mile of work your heart has to do, right? If you're if you have a challenge with your overall, if the thyroid isn't doing its job and you've got that extra 10 pounds, what is that extra 10 pounds doing to your joints and your knees?
Adding pressure, you got to carry it around up the stairs, more likely to get injured, I suppose.
Oh, and just the flat out, the joint wears out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The hips wear out. And we're starting to see more and more of people having knee pain. And one of the classic signs of knee pain is liver function issues, because the body stores toxins in the joints, right? And that's why people have arthritis, or what I like to call
arthrongus.
Arthrongus, because there's nothing rightus about it.
Arthrongus.
Yeah, that's right. Good job. And so, and you'll get it.
One of these days.
The thyroid is a driver of metabolism. So it's going to make your mind process information faster. It's going to allow you to feel more alert, more alive, more vitally engaged in your day-to-day activity. And so we want to see if we can interrupt some of the statistics walking around that the U.S. is dealing with as a whole, because the United States we're the richest country in the world, are we not?
China, right? Are we still number one?
I mean, let's just say, okay, fine.
Between you and Curt, Dr. Chop and Curt alone, I'm going to say yes. Between y'all's bank accounts.
That's right, of course.
My $2.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so America has one of the highest incidence of disease in all the world, and it's because we are killing ourselves with the food that is in our environment, the processed food that we put into our day-to-day living. That's why I always say, if you eat make-believe food,
you'll have make-believe health.
You'll have make-believe
Which
health.
Which leads me to Catherine's comments. She says, eat more chicken, which I cannot agree more. We should be eating healthy things like grilled chicken, baked chicken, and that can make a difference, right?
Well, now
baked chicken?
Maybe.
You don't bake chicken?
You can bake chicken?
What?
Kurt's only heard of fried chicken.
Wow.
Fried chicken?
No, Curt.
What?
Kurt.
Bake?
Somebody shave that guy's mustache.
How do you bake it? You put it in the oven?
Yes. What the baking is, yes, sir.
You've never had chicken?
What? Yesterday, for example. Let's not get off topic.
How do you bake chicken?
I'm sorry.
You put it in a glass dish with a little bit of oil, and you season it up and throw it in there and let it cook to 165 degrees. Beautiful. I had one yesterday. We put bell peppers and some spinach over the top of it, a little lemon juice, garlic, and salt. Boom, shakalaka. It was delicious.
This is why I'm fat.
And so
because I'm not baking my chicken.
Let's talk about Catherine's point right here about eating more chicken. If you eat more chicken that is loaded with hormones, antibiotics, and these birds are not pasture raised, is that the kind of chicken you want to put in your body?
Not all the time.
Definitely not all the time,
right?
But preferably never, if we could, right?
Of course.
And because this comes back down to you are what you eat, you become what you eat, but you also become whatever it was that the animal that you're eating ate.
Funny story. Okay, I don't know.
Is this related to the topic?
Yes, you are what you eat, kind of thing.
Okay.
There was this lady.
I'm going to hold this just in case.
Sugar-filled lump of dough. You've been eating some donuts.
No,
what have you been doing?
No, I just remember when I worked at Subway, there was this lady who came in every single day, and she ordered the chicken breast sandwich every single day, but she had kind of like a chicken nose, and I was like, wait, do you have the chicken nose?
This is a positive radio station. You're not making fun of people right now, are you?
No, I'm just saying. Never mind.
A hater.
I mean,
but, okay, to go back to Dr. Chadwick's
just
point.
Remember, Curt is judging you, folks.
So, you done?
I'm done.
So you're eating chicken, right? And hopefully, farm raised, organic, fed the right thing. And you mentioned you're becoming what you eat, but you have to think about what your food eats.
That's right.
So if your cows, if your chickens, if your other food is eating like trash,
that's right.
It comes on to us secondhand, right?
They have found that there have been, do you know, like not every processing plant is 100% perfect all the time, right?
Right.
So there was, and I don't know if I could pull it right here while I'm on the air, but there was there was a report in, I don't know, probably, where are you from? Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Yeah, let's just say it was Nebraska.
Wow.
And there was a truck of Skittles that were denatured Skittles. They were either not the right, circumference. They didn't have the perfect little S, or the color was a hue off of what it should have been. And so guess where these Skittles were going? They were going to farms so that cows could eat the Skittles.
Are you? This is true story?
This is true story. And I know,
from Nebraska?
Listen, I have to smile myself because here's the reality.
I want
is
proof.
because you can't, when you see stuff like this, you're like, okay, hopefully this is fake news, right?
Right.
But here's the reality is what if it's not? Because we do know that they are trying to feed salmon and make them vegetarian, or they're feeding cat food and soy products to fish.
Curt found it in, what is that?
Is it Nebraska?
The New York Post.
The New York Post. And what does the headline say?
It says farmers have been secretly feeding cows Skittles.
So this is the reality, guys. If you want to have healthy beef, feeding them high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, and artificial dyes and colors is not the way to do your meat. And how can you expect to eat a product that has been raised on fake food and expect anything more than make-believe health? How can we make that jump? And that's what if you take anything away from today's talk, is that the thyroid is bullied. It is bullied by processed food. It's bullied by metals and chemicals in your teeth, by the detergents that we put into our clothes, the things that we breathe in if you work in the makeup department at the local mall store. The thyroid is rarely ever the actual root cause problem. I need you to go upstream from my metabolic symptoms. And you always have to be mindful that you can't always put your eggs in the basket of trusting the diagnostic blood test. The diagnostic blood test is driving healthcare today, but it's not how we get people well, because most people who walk around today have a thyroid issue, but the thyroid looks totally normal and perfect on blood tests.
Really?
Yes.
So how can you tell, like, if I went to a doctor and said, hey, I think my thyroid is off, how do you tell?
So, if you go to a regular endocrinologist, they're going to run blood work. But what happens if the blood work doesn't come back with anything wrong with it?
Then you don't have a thyroid issue.
No, that's not true. What they're doing is they are primarily today running just a thyroid stimulating hormone test. That's called TSH when you look at your numbers. And if that number is in range, you have no thyroid problem according to the diagnostic blood test, then according to the technician running it, aka your doctor. And hang on. So what we have to do as functional clinicians, or just doctors who think, we have to start asking better questions. All right, I believe you, patient, that you're feeling mentally foggy. I believe you, patient, that you've worked out and you've done your due diligence. You're eating better than you've ever eaten in your last 6 months, and you haven't lost a pound. I believe you, patient, that your hair is falling out by the grows because of the pictures you show me, or that you're losing hair on the lateral third of your eyebrow. These are classic tales. You know how, like, every poker player's got a tail, right? Well, every breakdown in the chain of system has a tail. So we look at the thyroid's tails and we start seeing, oh, you do have a thyroid symptomology. But are we astute enough as your doctors to listen to the body's cries for help?
So we have some questions that are coming in that are thyroid related. Before we do that, I want to ask, if you're watching, have you ever been to the doctor, been to the endocrinologist? What did they tell you? Is it what you thought you were going to hear? Okay, let's say that there's somebody that goes to the doctor, they run some tests, they run the blood work, it comes back and they tell them, hey, you have a thyroid issue. What should this person do? Listen to their doctor, work with a natural approach as well. Is there ways that we can, feed our body naturally that can help?
Absolutely. But the first line of defense is never in a medical setting is to change your diet. I have patients every week come in and they're told by their medical professional that they don't believe food has anything to do with their thyroid dysfunction. Mm-hmm. And so whenever we're feeding, salmon, vegetarian diets, corn, or, cat food, or whatever we're doing to make salmon, guess what? Salmon are carnivores. They eat other fish. So if you make them a vegetarian, what happens to a tiger that you turn into a vegetarian?
I'm going to say he probably loses a lot of muscle.
Or just doesn't eat.
They won't eat?
Becomes my best friend.
Probably not.
He's not going to eat me.
No, he will eat you.
But he's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
No, if you force him to eat vegetables.
You know what? That's a good experiment. Let's try that at the local zoo next week and see how Curt winds up.
But I'm full of cheese and meat.
But here's the thing. Most of these guys are reaching for initially drugs that will have side effects and interactions that don't always give you the result you want. And if we're only looking at one marker, and we're not looking at T3 output or T4, the total T4 count in the body, if we're not looking at the thyroid peroxidase, thyroglobulin antibodies in the blood work, you can't get a full picture of what the thyroid is doing. And I will say to all the medical professionals out there, if you're just running a TSH or just a thyroid stimulating hormone, and your patient is saying they have thyroid symptoms, and it sounds like it, smells like it, looks like it, but your thyroid test isn't right, run more tests. And add the thyroglobulin antibody, add the thyroid stimulating antibodies, because what happens, or thyroid peroxidase antibodies, is those TPOs and those antibody numbers will oftentimes show up as more diagnostic, and the TSH just fluctuates week to week, month to month, and it's hard to manage. So if you're just looking at a fickle number and trying to deduce whether or not something truly is wrong diagnostically with the patient's thyroid, then you're going to miss a lot of true thyroid conditions that you might be able to influence. Now the next question is are you going to just put them on a drug like Synthroid that has either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fillers, 13 different dyes and colors, 13 different types of preservative in it, and call it good? Or are you going to try to manage the symptoms while changing the lifestyle of the person? Because believe you me, people will change if you give them the plan. If you lay out a directive path where you can then go back in 6 months and reevaluate your diagnostics and see those thyroid numbers go down, see the antibodies change and go back into normal range. And I've got, everything from an 18-year-old that came in with 1,800, thyroglobulin and thyroid peroxidase antibody numbers that are over 1,000. And they should be less than 30. They should be less than 15. And we find that people are running around with the antibody numbers that diagnose them as autoimmune thyroid. And then we find that even beyond that, we're so focused on the thyroid, we miss the fact that they are anemic. Well, you can't fix any condition in the body if you don't address the full panel. So oftentimes we're not running a thorough enough panel in order to find out where the glitches are at in the body, because it's rarely in the thyroid. The thyroid is just being bullied, therefore throwing off thyroid symptoms, but there's an underlying infection. There's an underlying anemia or some other things going on. Go ahead.
Here's a comment from Sarah that I want to read. Sarah says, I've been hypothyroid since I was 11. I'm 36 now. I went to a local endocrinologist with every symptom of being low on my current medication. The doctor, Dr. TSH, only test was off, up my Synthroid, didn't listen to any symptoms, and was told that thyroid problems aren't as big of a deal as what most people make them out.
And you know why they say stuff like that? Because they don't know what to do to fix it. I'm so sorry that you had that experience. That's terrible that all you got was more chemicals, preservatives, and junk in your Synthroid.
She says she's filling out a packet to come see you. How can somebody find that information? Maybe check out your website if they do want to come see you.
JustLiveWell.com. Check us out. We've got great health surveys up there. We've got some great information, great changes coming down the pike where we're going to be able to offer some of our products on the internet, which we're really excited about here in the near future. So stay tuned for that. And then, go and fill out our new patient paperwork. Call our office, 281-554-8600, because this is what I know, is there are solutions to your problems. And we're not going to just settle for a diagnostic test. And if we because we're going to do a thorough history. We're going to learn a timeline history. We're going to figure out, I train my staff my clinicians to listen to their patients, listen to the people walking through the door. And then when I ask questions to them, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? We can better understand functionally what is going on in your body, because functional symptom patterns like brain fog or headaches or palpitations or sweaty palms or hair falling out, weight gain, all these types of things going on in your body is the symptoms. Yes, the check engine light. But just like any mechanic will tell you, rarely is the problem the light bulb that kicked on. They're going to run diagnostics. They're going to listen to the motor if they have that ear, and they're going to figure out mechanically and or biochemically, in my world, what's going on in the tissues, and we're going to start figuring out where your body's breaking down. And that's what my wife and I set out to do, is to find the underlying cause of all disease. We want to understand upstream why your body's breaking down and what we then can do to start moving people forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to feed you different. A lot of times it is a food allergy that is driving I'm going to use a big word, systemic, but overall body systemic inflammation throughout the tissues, and the thyroid just takes the brunt of it because it's such a metabolic engine. And so the doctors are taking these medications and they're whipping the thyroid, saying, work, you dog, work. But the liver's telling the thyroid, slow down. I can't keep up with the workload. I don't have anything where to put all this trash and toxin. So what do you want me to do with this stuff? So it starts to store it in other parts of the body, in the brain. That's why you get brain fog. It starts storing it in fat cells, and the fat cells swell up 7 times the size of normal, and you can't lose weight because you're full of toxin. Or it gets stored in the joints, and now you're walking around with joint pain, and you're 38, and you're saying, oh, my aching back. No, let's not do that. That's why these joints are wearing out, because the toxins are in there, and we've got to get those toxins out of there. And so we might find that putting you on an anti-inflammatory diet might be your first line of defense. And then we might use something like Thyroid Health from Wheat Botanical, or in this case, Herbal Detox, and we might detox your liver. And so this stuff's got sarsaparilla on it, yellow dock, burdock, nettles. And what this stuff does is it opens up the channels of your liver to start functioning and processing more of the waste that's coming through the blood that needs to be filtered. But what if this isn't even the problem? What if more upstream than that is we've got to address digestion? Because you're putting in all that fake food, or those foods that are what we call hard to digest foods that are slowing down your bowel. We have to take those foods out, because what you eat's important, but what you
don't eat
is more important. Woo!
Awesome. Hey, we got a question here from Holly. I fell off, so my women's doctor ran my thyroid levels, came back okay. Then went for an ultrasound of my throat and found nodulars. They said they were small, so I'm not sure if I should do a biopsy. My family members get nodules often and say those are normal for them. Should I get the biopsy?
Well, so number one, nodules are never good. I mean, like if you have a nodule, it's an indicator that something's wrong. It's like having a swollen lymph node.
Is it like a little ball?
Yeah, it's
like
just
a little ball,
like
or
picture
something?
like a little ball, but you can say it's like in your lymph nodes. You know, if you had a lymph node that was swollen, I've had people come in with ping pong ball and golf ball size lumps in their throat, in their neck.
Yeah.
And it was because of a clogged duct. And we basically do lymphatic drainage support. We do infection immune modulation, where we're supporting that the underlying causes that the body's just asking for more help, and we clear stuff like that. Well, when you have nodules, and if it's a family history of nodules, most nodules are not what they would call malignant, which means cancer.
And a biopsy means they cut it open, test it?
A biopsy is typically they do what's called a needle biopsy, where they stick a needle into the thyroid, and they take into a nodule, they take a sample of it, and then they run tests on it to see if there's any malignancies in the tissues. And so one of the things that we find is, although nodules might be common today, I want to use that word common today, but they're not normal. You have basically a swollen, this is not what it is, but you have a swollen lymph node in your thyroid. That's basically what you got, which is a sign that your body is having it's being whipped, or probably with a medication or toxicity. Something is being stored in that tissue and it can't get out. So the body is building a protective, if you will, quarantine area for that toxin until the body can get to it. The body feels like a mineral igloo is safer than it to just sit there as a free radical or some sort of, oxidizing agent that can tear the tissue down more rapidly.
So what are your thoughts about getting the biopsy?
So, obviously I can't tell her what to do. I don't know her case, but this is what I would say. There's more to your story. I would say come to my office. When you come into our office and we start, looking at you from a full picture, we can give you better guidance and direction and see which direction we need to go.
Could that nodule break up?
Of course, it's not permanent.
Without having to go in there and open up your body? Because that's what you would have to do. You would have to open up the neck,
in theory, right,
to go in there, right?
And so, and that's what most people feel is like once I get it, I always got it, right? But just like those lumps in the lymph nodes will dissipate and go away, or the rash on your skin will clear up and go away, or if you fall and tear up your, have a road rash and it heals, or you get a bruise and it stops, the bruising goes away, your thyroid, just like everything, anything you can develop, you can undevelop. And we just got to stop doing the things that drive the process. And again, in this case, it could be her diet. It could be nutritional deficiencies that are causing her body to pump out more hormone from the hypothalamus and pituitary to make that thyroid work harder, and it's not serving the purpose. So the body's like, the thyroid's taking a beating. It's getting bullied again. But what if it's a nutritional deficiency? What if it's something because we're not eating enough of the right foods, or we're eating too many of the wrong foods? And so we use products to feed the thyroid. We use herbs to drive thyroid function. So we have tools in our toolbox. This one is Bladderwrack and Withania and Bacopa, and a really nice product to increase circulation and bathe the thyroid and make it perform better. And so we have tools in our office to go and figure out not just a drug to whip the thyroid and hope the blood work gets better, but to restore function to the system, the endocrine axis, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the thyroid, the adrenals, and in a female's case, ovaries, male's case, the testes, function of that whole endocrine axis.
Okay, so we have a couple questions that are coming in about thyroid issues. If you have any questions whenever it comes to your thyroid, or I guess any question at all, feel free to ask. It's 932. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We're talking to Dr. Aaron Chapa from Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. So this question's from Michelle, and it's kind of a statement with the question. She said, I did blood work first, and the first test, the doctor said it was her thyroid, but the next blood test came back and said that it was fine. How does that kind of stuff happen?
Because typically, if you go back and look at your numbers, they just ran a TSH. And I'm telling you, it's a fickle number. It is elusive, and it is not the diagnostic indicator. Although it is currently the modern gold standard, it is not enough information. What part of your watch tells time? All of it, right? And there's no part. I can't take out any part of your watch and it still work for you. And so the thyroid's the same game. The thyroid is made up of hormones. It's got enzymes. It's got lymphatic pathways. It's got a multitude of antibody formation numbers we can look at. Or simply, let's just get to the basics and ask, hey, how are you feeling? What's your mind doing? Do you get headaches? Are you losing your hair? Are you losing hair on that lateral third? Are you losing hair around your eyelashes? Are you finding that you've got dry skin? You can't lose weight? And all of a sudden, are you constipated? And then all of a sudden, they start putting pieces together and realizing, oh, this is a system game. This isn't a thyroid game. But when you're in business to sell a thyroid drug, you have to sell it to a thyroid condition. And so there's tests that I would like to run, but your insurance company won't cover it because it's in research and development, right? But it's very clear that these tests can give us the answers we want. So we really have to start appreciating and trusting our diagnostic abilities via symptoms. Symptoms are more diagnostic than a test oftentimes. And what I find too right now, like even when you're looking at these people going in for mammograms, mammograms do pick up early detection. Now they're early detective devices, right? They're not actually preventing anything. And obviously, you catch stuff early in a thyroid or anywhere in the body, it's better than waiting for it to manifest. But many of the diseases that do manifest in breast tissue that mammograms pick up are going to take 200 years to truly become a problem. And we don't have the diagnostic capabilities or technology to deduce whether or not you have a 200-year development process, so you don't have nothing to worry about, or one that's malignant and going to eat you alive in 6 months. And so what is the standard of treatment? Well, in the thyroid's case, let's radiate that thing, or let's beat you up with Synthroid or all these different, medications. Now, I, again, think it's barbaric to do that. Let's start with the basics. Let's evaluate the watch. Let's see what part of your watch isn't telling us the time. Is your digestion off? Are you eating the wrong foods? Is there underlying infectious processes? And because you can have infection symptoms other places in your body that could also be driving infection to be in the thyroid. And so people walking around with a root canal right now, people walking around with crowns in their mouth, they guaranteed have infection in their mouth. And guess what that infection is going to be close to?
Right, your thyroid gland.
Your thyroid gland.
Yeah.
And so infection could be bullying. Guess what? There's that word again, bullying your thyroid. And the thyroid is rarely, in my experience, the actual problem. Does the thyroid sometimes need support? Yes, the thyroid sometimes needs support, but we want to get to the underlying root of your problem, whether it's an infection, a food allergy, some sort of organ dysfunction somewhere else that's relaying messages incorrectly or relaying message down incorrectly. And so we can evaluate those things and see what's really going on with your tissues and see what is working and not working.
There's a bunch of questions. I have one personally that I want to ask. And
You're so cheating.
I know. I was like she's been waiting patiently in line.
But
April has been
I've
waiting.
been here since 8:30 waiting for this question.
Man.
So one of the things my brother, I know we've talked about it before, has a huge thyroid issue growing up. And all the times, it was every time that he was angry, and I felt kind of bad because I would be like, oh, his thyroid is acting up again. Or like when he was so is that the case? If you're feeling angry all the time or having issues with your anger, is that a thyroid issue?
I mean, absolutely. If your output isn't if you're not able to do the things you used to be able to do, like let's say that you used to be, engaged in multiple charity events, or you just found yourself always being more generous than people that are, normally not generous. And all of a sudden now you find that your patience is wearing thin, or you're finding that you're easily agitated just waking up in the morning. You're just ticked off at the world. And now everything after that waking up event, ticks you off just a little bit more. And so what is going on? There's a component with your serotonin and dopamine that is, and these are neurotransmitters. These are brain chemicals, brain hormones, if you will, that are going to allow functionality to occur or not occur. What's up, fan club? We love seeing the fan club.
I saw some colors over there.
I mean,
I'd seen
again,
Kenzie's shirt pop up, and I knew that there was something.
I mean,
Ethan, how's Ethan going to have the nerve to show his face over here?
I mean, the fishbowl. I feel like
where's the bat?
I feel like this is real, like Good Morning America, and they're in the window, peeking in while live streams happening. Guys, we have breaking news. This is like better than Good Morning America, man. We've got 10,000 likes. KHEA Radio's in the house. Make sure you share, like, and comment on these videos because, yes, if you find yourself easily agitated and grumpy,
or holding a bat, or threatening to hit.
Or angry where you want to inflict pain on others, Gardy, we could potentially have hormone dysregulation. And your thyroid could be a major player in that. But is it the thyroid or is it something else? Because the thyroid, again, typically is just being bullied backed into a corner. What happens when you back something into a corner? It typically fights its way out. And so your thyroid's doing a similar thing. Go ahead and ask April's question. I know that she was...
April wants to know if the thyroid can cause diabetes.
Can the thyroid cause diabetes? Well, I'm going to tell you by Alan Harper, a famous doctor back in the day. I've read a book by him, and he said a comment that said, anything can cause anything. That is the name of the book. So, of course it could, because if your thyroid metabolism is off, you could have blood sugar dysregulation, and then you're finding yourself firing up your blood sugar pathways trying to manage your output, right? And so going back to what I was mentioning earlier before our fan club showed up is that deeds drive serotonin. So when you successfully finish, a high school degree or a college degree or some certification that you're proud of, that deed typically leaves a limbic emotional response in your brain for a long time versus eating a cheese pizza. If cheese pizza or your favorite fast food joint is typically a dopamine-driven, reward-based, here today, gone in the moment later event. Nothing below your taste buds want fake food. And so we've got to help people stop reaching for pleasure foods and reach for real foods and start doing things that drive up serotonin, their happy pills, their happy meds, and regulate their brain chemistry so that their hypothalamus and their pituitary will work more effectively inside of a healthy neurological brain chemistry makeup.
So here's a question. It has to do with diet. What is a good diet, they put in quotations, for hypothyroidism? So what should people be eating if they are dealing with issues with their thyroid?
So number one, the easiest thing that you could do is avoid grains. It goes back to Joseph Mercola's book, The No Grain Diet, 1990s, and then Dr. Perlmutter's book, Grain Brain. And when you start seeing these conversations around grains as a major player in slowing down the GI tract's ability to process food, and if you're one of these people that are walking around with 10 to 15 meals caked up inside of you, which I would go ahead and go a further step than that, if you have symptom patterns you weren't genetically born with, odds are you indeed have, bowel trouble.
So is grain like pasta, rice?
Yes, sir. So it'd be corn, it would be pasta, it would be bread,
Pop-Tarts.
wheat, anything that says a flour-based something or other.
Okay.
So most people eating, yes. Go ahead and look at the ingredients on the back of that Pop-Tart. I mean, I'm so glad that you're, one day, you're going to look back and wish you wouldn't have done all that. But okay, it's enriched flour, thiamine mononitrate, and or at least the top 3 ingredients probably. If not, sugar's the top ingredient.
Wow, you hit all 3 of the top
I
ingredients.
know.
Top 3.
I haven't even seen one of those. But here's the thing: is they're all the same. Even if it was a cereal bar, it'd be the same thing. And most people are reaching for cereal bars, Pop-Tarts, cereal first thing for breakfast. Then mid-morning they have a cereal bar, or they have some sort of something, grain-based something to get them to their mid-afternoon lunch, where they go have a sandwich, which is bread that's enriched too. Even at your fancy sub places, they have enriched flour. They're not organic, real gluten-free. They're not real nutrient dense. I mean, they're just not. And so then for dinner they have pasta, and guess what? And a slide of bread and a piece of chicken. Well, the chicken's the best thing on the meal. So the first thing that you could do is just drop the grains. Cut it in half even. But some of you are out there have been beating your system up so badly with the grain intake that you have to completely cut it out of your diet in order to make your system move forward.
Is everybody different on the amount of time? Like, how long would you have to cut grain out of your diet before you start to feel better?
I really think, within 2 weeks you'll notice a difference. I have a guy literally he's I guess he's in his mid-30s. He has a diabetic number of over 10, and he, in I think it was like 3 weeks on a keto diet, he lost 30-something pounds. That's 3 miles of work his heart's not going to have to do. That's less weight his joints have to carry around. That means his thyroid isn't going to have to be whipped as hard in order to keep his body moving. His brain function is better. He feels more amazing than ever. And my question is it the keto diet, or is it what the keto diet takes from you? It's what you eat's important, guys. But what you don't eat, come on, baby, is more important.
So you'll be pretty upset with my diet last night. I had pasta with a side of bread, and that was it.
I mean, but isn't it interesting? I give my little example, and you fit the bill. You're the perfect cereal this morning. Yay. No nutritional value added. And you have the classic American dinner, pasta, because it's easy, right? Ramen noodles will be tonight probably, right?
It was like I cooked the pasta at least. It wasn't like ramen noodles. It wasn't cup of noodles.
People don't eat ramen noodles straight. I don't know. If you're eating ramen noodles just straight out of the package like a candy bar.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, and then the little packet that comes with it's loaded with glutamate or MSG.
I'd add cheese,
which basically peels back the neuron receptors in your brain and allows calcium to rush in there, and it fills up and pops like a water balloon, and we burn up neurons doing stuff like that.
So here's a statement from April, and then we have a question from Michelle. April said, even at school, they give the kids nonstop grains. Last year, they were giving donuts and cereal constantly, so that's no good. So you need to make sure as your kids are going back to school that they are going to be eating the appropriate things to be able to get through the school day. Not only that, after school.
Pop-Tarts.
And here's the deal. I mean, is it right of me to say at the end of the day, how do you expect your kids to focus in school when you're putting make-believe food in their brain?
And then go play sports after? Do
Well,
their
how
homework?
do you expect them to be good at sports? Why do you think we got kids that aren't maximizing their growth potential? Why do you think we got kids developing diabetes? Why do you think the 33% of the children today are obese? You know, we have to look.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know if you had any thoughts. We were talking about how your brother developed like thyroid issues and how you didn't know you could bake chicken earlier. I just figured you may have some insight.
I mean, yeah, we trust your judgment. Everybody on KHEA Radio trusts Curt's judgment.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe not today. Okay.
That awkward silence just happened. Did you hear that?
I was
We all
going to bring up
stared at
my
each other.
judgment of having a mustache today, but that was maybe also a bad idea.
So here's a question from Michelle. She said, I have to ask, if your ankle stays swollen, in pain every day, could this be medication related or a thyroid issue? After all, medication would be, I don't know that word, Neronatin? Neronatin? Is that a word?
Let's see if I can
But
find it.
we are talking about thyroid issues with Dr. Aaron Chapa. It's 9:47. We have
Neurotin.
we have about 10 minutes left.
So, ankle swelling is typically, it very well could be a metabolic problem with the thyroid, but typically when I see ankle swelling, I think toxicity in the liver or the kidneys. And that means that if you listen to the front end of our show, we talked about how if you have a slow liver, it sends a relay message up to the thyroid and says, slow down. The thyroid is under control of other factors going on in and around the body. And remember, every cell in your body has a thyroid receptor. And that means it wants that T3 upregulation. It wants to be metabolically active. It wants to be as awesome. Your big toe wants to be as awesome as Curt's nose. But yet, oftentimes, we lack the nutritional building blocks for healthy metabolism, thyroid output, and mental, function. And so I would say absolutely, in this case, we would be looking even further upstream and say, okay, this sounds like a toxicity issue. Maybe we need to clean the lymphatics. Maybe we need to clean the bowel. Maybe we need to clean the kidneys. Maybe we need to clean the liver. And the more we talk about this stuff and I share these ideas, people start realizing you can do that. And I say, yes, you can. And yes, you should. In the 21st century, if you're not detoxing as a regular part of your health care plan, you are missing a huge health care piece of longevity, vitality, and overall productivity. And so I want people to know, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center believes that you can live well, be well, one bite at a time. We believe it will sometimes, to your point earlier, how long does it take? I mean, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 years. I don't know the extreme of what you got going on. But I tell you this, no matter what, if you follow through with the recommendations that we teach, if you follow through long enough and you allow the body its due diligence of time to reverse what took years to develop, we can undevelop it. And we can help you move forward and live better. And if it does, for example, and I'm comfortable to say this, guys, because I want you to know, I had a guy come in with thyroid cancer, and we worked with him, we detoxed with him, we did all kinds of stuff to get his body prepared to either remove the thyroid cancer, or if he did have to go under the knife and have it removed, that he would be able to function, be more ready for that surgery. And this is what I found in that case. So this is we did have to blend medical and alternative, but his body, he was in better mental shape, biochemical shape, physical shape, going into that process and procedure when he had the thyroid cancer removed, although he had now, he's got symptoms that we are managing with supplements, without drugs. He is managing his care plan better than even though he had the thyroid removed, but we had to use some thyroid, surgery in this in this particular case because, guys, cancer is a big deal. Like, the goal is to never develop the cancer. We want to catch it long before that. But if you smoke and you're sitting there letting all those chemicals float down your trachea, passing by guess you know who, your thyroid is now being bullied by the chemicals and the preservatives and the smoke of the nicotine. If you're putting in fake food, you're drinking too much alcohol, you're clogging up your liver, things back up and it stresses out your metabolic engine, and your body is asking for it to do more work. It whips it into shape. Or if you go to a doctor and they put you on a bunch of medications and they're whipping your thyroid with all these preservatives and all these other chemicals that are inside of it, guess what? It's not serving you in any way, shape, and form.
Here's a question. Can you detox? And we were talking about that just a bit ago. Can you detox antibodies while nursing?
Can you detox the body while nursing? You can support the natural cleansing pathways of the body while nursing, yes. Do you need to do a full out, my 21-day ultimate detox program? No. You don't want that stuff to pass through the milk into the baby and you just basically give your toxins to your kid. That wouldn't be cool. But you are right now, in a sense, detoxing every time you have a bowel movement, every time you go pee, every time you sweat. So what if we improve those tissues? So absolutely there's things we can do naturally and safely even while you're breastfeeding. For example.
Should you do that before? Like, let's say during the pregnancy, maybe do a detox?
No, you do.
Or before?
Because again.
Because you're letting it out. It'll go through the milk.
No, worse. It'll go through the umbilical cord into the baby while in the womb.
So before you're pregnant, maybe?
That's correct. You want to do preparation on the front end. So that's why my wife and I attribute our detox program to all 4 of our kids. Well, we attribute God. God is ultimately the giver, right? And
I thought the liver was the giver.
The liver is the giver, but God gave us the liver.
Okay, that's true.
So God is the liver giver.
God is the liver giver. That's right. And so one of the things that I use is something as simple as milk thistle. Silymarin is another name for it. And we use a quality product out of Australia, and it is absolutely an amazing way to support and nourish the liver. Even if you are on chemo and radiation, you can take this product because you're supporting the health and vitality of the liver. And so if the liver's healthier, your thyroid will be healthier. If your liver's healthier, your blood flow will be better. If your liver's healthier, your ability to produce enzymes and fat metabolism enzymes will be better. So your overall body will be better if we have a stronger, healthier liver. So we want to encourage you that even if you're breastfeeding, there's answers. And, quickly, somebody asked, are Cliff Bars good for you? They're loaded with soy. I would not consume those. I wouldn't put soy in your body. A friend of mine, their child literally put, I don't know, they got their PhD recently at 24 years old, and it's on the demasculinity of man and why we should never consume soy products. And I believe, no doubt about it, that we should not be consuming soy. It's one of the 4 deadly food additives, and something is, that we ought to be avoiding day in and day out.
So, okay, there's a question. This was actually from my dad, and it's about vitamins.
I don't hear myself. Just let you know.
You're in there.
Okay, good.
I
just don't hear myself here.
Okay, gotcha. This is from my dad. He said, hey, what's the difference between your multivitamins, omega-3, et cetera, vitamins, than other vitamins that are sold?
So the 97.5%, this is an excellent question, 97.5% of all supplements on the market today are either not safe or not effective. And so I have vetted out the 2.5% of products that will have an effect that I want on the body. So many people come into my office and they have a response. And sometimes they even call it a reaction. And it's not a reaction, it's a upregulation. I turn something on and your body's doing something more than it was doing before, and I have to retrain people's thinking because we're so afraid of the pill for an ill side effect. People don't want side effects. But what if we are unlocking toxins out of your brain, out of your joints, out of your limp tissue? What if we are releasing your body to start performing at a level that it couldn't produce before because there was some barricade in the way? Well, guess what? That is a good response. We just have to slow the process down to be something that you're willing to go through. But throwing in the towel because you have one little blip on the radar that you're not comfortable with, is not the answer. That's why we say you've got to come in the office. You've got to let us work you through these processes because we recognize it's simple over here for me to talk about. It's just not always easy to implement. I love the game. Jennifer Willie loves the game. Dr. Amber loves the game of finding out why your body's breaking down. My office team loves the game. They get it. They understand. I got people going to Palmyra, Wisconsin this week to see the farm, to see how these things are processed. Their minds are going to be expanded. It'll never return back to the shape. You cannot get anything close to what I have to offer you in the form of supplementation in my office. And then from a knowledge perspective, me and my staff, we're required to take like 16 hours a year, and we take, 50 to 75 hours a year of training to learn and to grow and to keep studying and to stay fresh and to stay sharp, that we can lift you up out of the miry clay, so to speak, and put you where you need to be and set you in the direction you need to go. And ultimately, guys, I'm just a vessel. I'm just a guy. And my team is just people, and we're helping people. We're serving the masses. We want to be a light to you guys and let you know that there is hope. This might be a place that can help you. I don't know your circumstances fully, but I know that I can help you further you down the path because of the time and the resources that I've put into this game and I've seen in my experience over the last 14 years. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt you can live better. You can be better. You can stop living in the rut you're in, and we can get you on the fast track to health and wellness. And that's what Living Well Clinical Nutrition stands for. We're a beacon of light for people that have stuff going on, and we want to give you an alternative to drugs and surgery.
Thank you for hanging out with us today, Dr. Chopper. You're awesome.
Yep. God bless you all.
It's 9:58. Whenever we come back, we're going to be announcing the winner of a year's supply of Chick-fil-A right here, courtesy of the Chick-fil-A League City Town Center. So stay tuned. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Coming up next is We Are Messengers. Maybe it's okay. Go download the KHEA Radio app, and then let me know when you do it. And then watch us on Facebook. It's KHEA Radio. Awesome. That was fun. Hey, there was like a lot of questions coming in, and I feel like the thyroid talk could go on for forever. So if you have any suggestions, maybe a topic for next week, something that you're dealing with or somebody is, or I don't know, just any question at all, maybe send that suggestion to Dr. Choppa's office. Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. If you're not following them on Facebook, then you're missing out, and just send them a message. They're really good about responding. And if you want to go, Kurt's so funny, man.
Give us a call, 281-554-8600.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to get my irritability, but it's not just like it's like with everybody. It's just with him because I know, and I hang out with him so much. It's like it's always on my last. He's always on my last nerve, and maybe that's an issue. Maybe I need to go in.
Yeah, it sounds like we need to give you some Nevaton.
But it's just one person. If it's just one person, is that an issue across the board?
Well, no, it's not an issue across the board. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is Curt. So.
Wait, you guys were talking about... Wait, what did I miss?
Nothing.
You're going to have to go back and see.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Choppa.
Yeah, blessings.
Again, and that's what everybody's saying as well. Lots of great information. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And he'll be in again on Tuesday. So every Tuesday, starting at 8:30, Dr. Choppa's here hanging out with us. You can stream us from the app, our website, KHEAradio.com. You can also watch the Facebook Live right here. We're also looking at streaming video to other sources, and we recently started our podcast, which is available at, as of right now, Spotify, but it's going to be available on iTunes and everywhere else here recently. So.
Yes. So we're going to bring in Concetta from Maceo Spice Company, who's going to be talking about everything that they're working on.
I love it. Yeah, you can bring Concetta. So that's me.
Ooh, that's you?
Yeah. So we love Maceo's. Concetta. I saw that they were doing some filming for like Galveston tourism there the other day, and they did like one of those ABC like HTX pluses there.
You'll love it. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
What's up, Concetta? How are you?
Hi.
Hey, did you see we're giving away a year of Chick-fil-A?
No.
Well, we're about to announce the winner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Wait, no, I did see this. I did.
We just hadn't announced it yet. So we're about to.
Do I get to announce it?
You can.
And the winner is.
I have the winner pulled up over there.
Where?
It's on that computer. It's on this computer. That's what I'm looking at.
Hidden. Oh my gosh, this is so like. Y'all are moving on up with this. Everything in here.
All good things. All good
All
things.
great
Hey, what have
things.
you been up to? You've been up to a
Everything.
lot.
I know.
I've seen that y'all were featured on like ABC started doing this like HTX Plus on social media, and then I saw
Yeah.
Galveston Island Tourism was doing some filming over there. What's been up?
Oh my goodness. We've been so busy at the shop. Summer has been so good to us. We just, every time I turn around, we're getting these. I have to adjust myself real
Yeah.
quick. Let me get comfortable. I'm sorry.
You're
Then we
good.
can chat.
Yeah, you're good. No, yeah, y'all are staying busy on social media, and summer in Galveston is always fun. The water's been blue, and so I hear that it's
The
been
water's
nuts.
been
Like
gorgeous.
traffic getting over there to the island is like, and like I'm thankful
now I
for
can
you.
see
You're there
you.
early. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been such a great summer. Everything's been, the water's gorgeous. The weather has been so hot, but it's been good. Business has been really good. We were blessed to be on, chosen for the ABC 13 show. And then just recently, I guess right before I went to California, the week before, the CVB is starting. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this. I'm sure I can. They're starting a new food blog or vlog series called Galveston Grubs. And so I was episode 1, and they're putting that together. So it was really cool to do that.
When does it drop? I've been
I
been
know.
checking like every day. This is taking way too long because I know how long it takes to edit video like
Yes.
that. I'm like, you guys, I don't know what y'all are doing.
I know.
But we could have had this done. Let's go. I want to see it.
Part of it is me. Taylor emailed me this past week, and he was like, hey, anytime you can get photos, because I need to get him some Maceo photos.
Yeah. Like old photos that only
yeah.
you have? Okay, I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
like food photos.
He said any kind of photos that I want to send in. So.
You send like glamour shots from like junior high. Be like, ta-da, here you go.
I
You
was
asked
not
for
very
it.
glamorous in junior high, surprisingly. I don't even. Those were like my,
the
keep those
good
in the
days.
box days. I don't know what I was thinking fashion wise. But no, so I'm excited about that. And then things have been great. Went to California. So as y'all know, I love garlic.
Of course.
And so I went to the garlic festival. That was fantastic.
I saw that.
It was such a blast. I was there Friday and Saturday, and look, I've never met so many people who love
It's a passion.
like we were sitting in the crowd watching these chefs do their thing, like Tom Colicchio from Top Chef, and everybody's like, add more garlic, and he'd do it and we'd cheer. I mean, it was like I felt like it was Comic-Con but for food,
That's awesome.
It was so much fun. But anyway, I was looking forward to that, like, since I did my herb festival thing. And then I'm doing another class on Thursday. If you are 55 or up, Ollie has a learning center in Galveston, and they offer classes. This Thursday, I'm teaching a class on garlic. All things garlic is what it's called.
I love garlic.
I love garlic.
He does too. I know for a fact he does love. I like garlic as well, and I need some garlic salt in my house. My wife, we were like cooking some stuff yesterday, and she was like, "We have no garlic. What are we gonna do?"
What?
I know it was sad.
Okay, next time that happens, am I in the mic enough? Now I am. I had to turn the volume up. I think I'm going deaf.
Well, no, Dr. Chapa was like, "I can't hear myself" after I turned Kurt's mic off, but it was just really low.
It was so low. I just saw that I
crank
could
it up.
turn it up. I did.
Crank that
I
bad boy.
needed to. That was half of the reason I was like, huh? What?
Situated.
I don't
It feels
know.
weird. Yeah.
No, let me know. I will give you some garlic. I have so much garlic, even at the house. I came back with a box like this big from California, and everybody kept asking me, what's in your box? I'm like, garlic.
What do you mean?
What do you
What's in the
mean?
box?
What do you mean, TSA? It's garlic. And they like looked at me. I was like, yeah.
It's
garlic.
it's a garlicky smell protruding from the. What is
No,
it? It's
let
garlic.
me tell you, it is so strong. The force is strong with that box. So
Yeah. So at Maceo's, well,
Yeah.
let's just go ahead and go on the FM right now. Here we go.
okay.
All right, I'm introducing. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It is 10:05. on a Tuesday morning. We had Dr. Aaron Chop in studio, and I think we need to announce the winner before we hang out with our next guest, Kinsetta from Macio's.
That's me.
Can you go get the Chick-fil-A cow for me, Eldridge? Because
we're giving away a year of Chick-fil-A. You know,
oh my gosh.
people camp out for this kind of stuff,
Look,
right?
Mary Bass.
Yeah, she
I feel like
dressed
she
like a
would
cow.
dress up and do it.
Look how big. My son was begging for this. So we've had this in studio for a little bit.
bucket.
And he
I
was
want
like,
it.
Dad, can I please have that cow? I was like, Kellen,
This
there's
is so
a
cool.
bunch of people out there in Facebook land who'd be really mad if I just that balloon
Look.
is so sad. It used to have helium in it.
Oh. At church on Sunday, the kids had a bunch of balloons and they were making like avocados and cats out of them, but like little, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they're going to win not only a year's supply, so there's 52 cards here. So you get
Wow.
one a week, and it gives you the
You plan
choice of
accordingly.
a Chick-fil-A sandwich meal or a Chick-fil-A nugget meal, I believe. At least that's what I see on this card. I don't know. I haven't opened up the other ones yet. So you might get a little bit different every day. And
Yeah,
then you're
change
gonna,
it up.
You're going to get this cow as well and the bucket. So
This is awesome.
this is
I wish I had the
I-
bucket. I would use that bucket.
I wish I could. Can we keep the cow?
Well,
Maybe they'll donate it back to you.
let's ask the
Here's
person.
the best part: the cow's little bell.
We'll
thing
give them a gift card. We'll give them that gift card too. They can have that one as well.
is a little.
As long as
gift
we
card.
get to
That
keep the
is so
cow.
cute. So I did see y'all share this, and the reason I said I didn't is because I put it out of my mind because I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
You didn't want to win?
I didn't want to win it. I love Chick-fil-A so much that year supply would probably not last very long.
It wouldn't
not
last
gonna
a
lie.
year. They're
Yeah.
like, I got a
No.
year's worth.
Right?
Listen, I have those gift cards still from when we went to there was some sort of like gala that we went to, and we got a whole bunch of those cards.
Mine are gone.
I still have some.
It was a Lighthouse Christian Charities, or
Yeah.
Ministries rather, and yeah, they gave us a bunch because Travis and Jamie Powell, they are the owners of the 96 Chick-fil-A in League City,
Yeah,
and they were like, here's a bunch. We're like, thank you.
That's awesome.
Y'all are awesome. Thank
that
you.
is so great.
Oh, mine are gone. Mine have been gone. You know, I have kids
For sure.
and my wife,
That's
and it's just
it.
easy. We live right
Easy.
there.
Yeah.
It's the best. So
That
hey,
is.
we're gonna announce that winner,
Oh yes.
Kurt.
Drum roll, Kurt.
It's
I
up
know.
on that computer.
I see it. Are you excited?
I'm
so
ready.
excited.
Okay, so the winner of the year supply of Chick-fil-A is Farrah Porty. You are the winner. Congratulations, Farrah. We are
Farrah.
excited.
I can't wait for our Chick-fil-A date.
Farrah.
Do you
Farrah,
know
you're the
her?
winner.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
her husband
she
tunes
seems
in.
like she's pretty cool if she won that.
Her husband Jordan tunes in like all the time.
That's awesome.
So
Farrah, can we
Thank you, Farrah and Jordan.
Can we go with you? And can we
Yeah.
keep the cow? If you really want the cow, we'll understand. But if you want to donate it back to us, then we'd appreciate it.
It would be a great prop for the studio.
It would be.
I mean,
Just live here.
yeah. And they'll forever remember you.
All right. So, anyways, I was expecting Kurt to talk for a second as I was
Kurt.
posting that, but he's just over playing the quiet game.
Well,
I
because
apologize
look,
to my
look,
friends.
I was just watching
and
it.
now we won't be quiet.
I'm off my game now.
look,
I'm like,
look.
huh?
Yeah.
I'm just obsessed with this cow because it can have the microphone instead of me.
Okay,
The
yeah,
cow.
He has a lot of good stuff to say.
Did
But
you hear that?
Eat
was the
more
cow.
chicken.
Kinsetta, so
Hey.
if somebody has not been to Macio's, can you share, where Macio's is and what y'all offer?
Yes. So Macio's Spice, an import company, is in Galveston, Texas. We are at 2706 Market Street. So that's 27th and Market. At that corner, you'll see us.
Yeah.
You cannot miss us.
Back in the day, like Market Street,
Was
like I don't understand. Like, I mean, what all was there? Do we know? Like, what was? They just named it Market, but like, were there actually like markets?
No, I don't know. That's a great question. I feel like maybe the Historical Foundation can answer that. I'm gonna tag them in this.
Let's tag them.
To
We need some
see.
answers.
Yeah, let me get my phone. I don't know how they named it because you have Strand,
Right.
Market, Mechanic, Sealy, Ball. I don't really know what all and it's only the north side of Broadway that have these names. So once you go from Broadway south, like towards the seawall, that way is just letters.
Yeah.
And if you want to get technical, Broadway is J, Avenue J, Market Street is Avenue D. So like Harborside starts with A, I want to say.
Yeah.
So
It's just interesting.
You know,
you
it
think about
is.
it like market, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's perfect for Macio's import spice. Y'all offer food, and it's like, oh, I'm thinking about going to the market because you walk in, if you've never been before, you
It's
kind of
a
feel like
market.
that market feel.
It's a little, Italian specialty grocery store, deli. We also serve lunch. We're known for our muffaladas and our spices. So we make spice blends. We have about, I used to say 29 different blends, but now we have about 32 different blends because of me. Anyway, so people love our seafood seasoning, our all season. I mean, every one of our blends is perfectly combined to, delicious goodness. But yeah, you can come in, get any specialty foods. If you just want to come in and people watch, if you want to meet somebody new, we have this huge community table in the middle of the room. And we're not a huge store, so don't think you're going to come in and, there's seating for like 20. There's seating for maybe 25 people total.
Well, there's some outside seating
There's
too, right?
definitely outside seating. And, just because there's only that much seating doesn't mean that you need to like turn around and leave. People get so frustrated with that. I've had customers eat on spice boxes because, they're dedicated and they know how good it is. Shoot, I think I got a picture of that. I should share that and just be like, because that's one of our biggest complaints is we're not very big and we don't have a lot of seating. But,
I love that
you work with what you got,
Like inside, there's the big community table.
Yes.
And then outside, it's been so nice lately. Like, why I prefer, I would rather sit outside. It's great out there.
It is great, especially we've got umbrellas out, and especially with the umbrellas, that shade and there's a little bit of breeze. It's really nice, and we're pet friendly on our patio. So bring your dog, bring your cat. I love cats. I'd bring my cat if I could. He's got a little carrier. This is my new cup. Do you like it?
Oh, I just noticed that. It is beautiful. I love it.
I
love that.
I showed Naola some pictures of your cat, and now she wants it exactly like yours.
Oh.
And I'm like, come on.
You just got a gerbil.
Oh, you
It's a
have
hamster.
Oh my
Same
goodness!
thing, man.
What'd you name him, Hammy?
No, gerbils are no. We named it Doritos Locos
Okay, that's
Nachos
cute.
Tacos from Taco Bell.
Okay.
So it's a long name.
That
but
is
it
a
works.
very long name. So what's his nickname? Hammy?
Dorito.
I had hamsters when I was younger and guinea pigs. I had so many hamsters though.
Did you like cats too at the same time? Did they mix?
Always. I've always
Okay.
loved cats. Like, come on.
Were they friends?
Now.
You just kept them separate?
Yeah. I mean, my guinea pigs stayed in their little cage unless I brought them out and put them in the ball and let them like run around.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple times where I lost them in the couch, but they resurfaced.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, they got along. My animals in my house, they know, we're all family. Like Kit just likes to drink Beta Babe's water. He doesn't really like to eat the fish, but
Yeah.
I think Beta Babe's water, that's my fish's name, by the way, Beta Babe. He's a beta. Go figure.
Of course.
Yeah, she also said she has a beta fish because she also wants to get a beta fish. I'm like,
I do. Beta Babe is so pretty.
yes.
He is. I think he's a he.
You should start showing her
Anyway.
other things like, I don't know, like camera gear. Like, look at this. And be like, oh, we should get one of those. And you're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or just show her like a bank vault with a bunch of money. Like, yeah, we should work really hard and get one of these big old bank accounts. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
That
good.
would be hilarious.
Instead of like
and see if it works.
cats.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe it
know.
work. I don't know.
Cats are so much better than a bank vault. Can a bank vault give
Depends.
you
Maybe.
I mean, how many cats could you buy if you had a bank vault?
I don't know.
What's in the bank vault?
Money. Like
Money.
you're Scrooge
Okay.
McDuck, like,
Okay.
in the gold coins,
Oh,
right?
yeah, just swimming.
See, this is
Just
Gardy's.
swimming.
This is Gardy's life. He's like, I don't have pets, but I have a bank.
Gardy,
vault.
you don't have any pets?
No. I had pets growing up, but I don't have any pets. I don't. Mm-mm.
Why?
It's sad.
Just because my kids,
What
my
pets?
son wants a dog.
Yeah.
He wanted a dog, but he's kind of off of that now. But both of our neighbors have dogs, and
Okay,
they both
so you
go
can-
outside. And like Tippy, the neighbor's dog, my 2-year-old, my 6-year-old, they go over there play.
Okay.
I love my neighbors; they're awesome. But sometimes a ball goes over. you have to walk in the neighbor's backyard, and it's just like
Awkward.
which they're cool with it. It's just like kind of jumping around like there's some dog, restroom. Yeah, I don't want a dog. But my neighbors have one, and my kids are like, that's my dog. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, okay.
We'll share. We'll keep it at your house.
Hey, they could even walk the dog, play with the dog.
Exactly.
I'm sure the neighbors would love that.
They would. Yeah.
Okay, well, you don't want a dog.
Yeah.
Cats are better anyway.
Yeah, they don't need all the attention.
No, they do and they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes they can go wild.
Anyway. So.
Hey, so we're talking to Concetta from Maceo's in Galveston. So I saw, and we talked about this before we went on the FM a little bit, there's been a lot of activity going on. Y'all have been busy, some media outlets going in to check you guys out. Like, what's going on?
So we're just doing our thing, and people I'm kind of nervous about this bat, Gardy.
Don't be.
Okay. Are we going to go play softball later? Like,
I
anyway,
really want to go to the batting cage.
I would like that. That's fun. Sorry. Okay, so back to Maceo's. at first I thought this was a walking cane, and
it is.
Anyway, sorry. So, so we've been, just doing our thing, staying strong, just doing the Maceo thing, and we've had different avenues approach us about going on TV. A lot of it, I have to say, is credited to the Galveston Visitors Bureau and Convention Center and Visitors Bureau, because they, put us in contact with some of these people. But, it's been great.
Who's better? The people who showed up and shot all those videos for you and that TV
KHEA,
guy, or
done.
radio station?
KHEA.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we were
all
better.
Day.
Okay, good. I got
He's
concerned there a little
the
bit.
smile on her face is like looking at the camera as well. So there's going to be some really cool features coming out, capturing, I guess, some stories and showing what you guys have to offer.
Yes.
They're not out yet.
No, I don't.
I want to see them.
So y'all got a little taste of on HTX Live or Plus, or
I don't know.
I
It's
don't either.
Plus.
There's
I
a
think.
plus on it, but there's a little taste of that. Just kind of the background. My grandfather started the company, and my dad took over, and now I'm working there. So I'm third generation, loving what I do. I grew up in it. So when people, ask me when did I start working there, that is the most convoluted question I've ever had, because, well, I could say I was like 6 years old packing basil, or playing in the spices,
eating garlic, and
making
packing
deliveries.
basil.
I grew up going into the backs of kitchens of restaurants. It's like most people go in through the front and see the hostess. I walk through, gotta watch my step because it's slippery, and don't touch that because it's hot, as like a little kid, so
yeah,
it's just,
Here's the thing that I don't have an issue with, but it just pops in my head, right? So the HTX Plus, I think it's great that they're going down there, to Galveston. But for years, forever, it's always been like, we're Houston. It's like, but now you want to use the back of Maceo's and all these other amazing things that Galveston and Galveston County has to offer, for clicks and views. And that's great, but hopefully they keep it going and show that spotlight.
Yeah, and I hear you on that, but I also think that Galveston is well overdue for some good publicity. And people need to see the pretty side of Galveston, not just pretty, but the real Galveston. I was at the airport in Los Angeles. This has got me. Girl, I hope you're listening. Her name is... No, Lauren was the girl who I was talking... Anyway, I digress. This girl was asked where I was from, and I said, I'm from Galveston. And she said, oh, I hate Galveston. I stopped her right there. I said, excuse me, ma'am. I think you're confused. And she was.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I went to KHEA Boardwalk, and it was just so ugly and blah. I said, well, that's not Galveston. And then to my luck, all this beautiful blue water was out right now, so I pulled it up and I started showing her all the pictures, and I was like, do you see this? This is Galveston. Do you see this? This is Galveston, so I had to like reframe her mind a little bit.
Yeah.
And, but that's the like common theme is people see one dirty picture of Galveston, where the water is churning up real bad, with the tide and the undercurrent, and you've got, chocolate brown water. It happens. But the pretty blue water happens too.
I think that the government is controlling when Galveston gets the blue water because it only happens on the weekends.
Don't be crazy.
I'm just saying.
You sound kind of crazy.
Why does the blue water not happen on a Monday?
I'm just saying this was during the week. I flew back on Wednesday.
Okay, I'm just trying to maybe start
You're wrong,
something.
Kurt. Just kidding. And then also on top of that, Galveston is not just the beach, and that's something that the CVB has done a really great job about sharing, as well as, the news stations and, their video series. Thank you so much. What they're showing is not just what's on the beach. They're showing, I'm a third generation business. They show, they're showing Paco, they're showing Hey Mikey's, they're showing the Kings, they're showing all these different areas of Galveston that we've taken pride in. And, it's like when people say I go to Galveston for the beach, well, what else? There's so much more than the seawall, and there's so much more than the Strand. You have all of this really cool stuff all in between. You have, historic home tours. You have Moody Gardens, Schlitterbahn. I don't know if we're going to have Schlitterbahn that much longer because they just sold out, and I don't know.
They did?
Do y'all know anything about that?
No, we haven't heard anything.
I should
heard
know.
that.
I'm like Miss Galveston, but I'll look into it and let y'all know. Anyway, so, we have shopping. We have a great art scene, great mural scene. So there's just so much more,
Yeah. Because there is the beach. You think of the beach, and then you kind of got to go off the path. If you ask some of the locals or people that have been going to Maceo's for years or use the spices at home or their restaurants, then they know where to get to you guys.
Yes.
And so it's really cool to show a spotlight on places that aren't just on the Strand.
Exactly.
On the seawall. There's so much more.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff to do right now, especially with the beautiful water. I saw some pictures that were posted yesterday, and we asked permission from a gentleman. Can we post these? Because it was just an amazing shots of Galveston. The water looks great. I just want to be out there.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to make it down, and I heard the traffic is kind of nuts. How has that been?
I don't notice
It's
any
been okay?
traffic. Yeah.
I guess it was just the weekend, huh?
I think that traffic gets bad after 517 going north.
Right.
That's when I see traffic bad. But, Galveston, we don't have traffic. I mean, at the same time, I just came back from LA, so
She's like, traffic?
There's
What
no
kind of
such thing as traffic. Nah. I mean, you might sit at a stoplight twice in Galveston at 5 o'clock rush hour when people are trying to leave, but other than that, you don't really see traffic.
Market Street's getting updated, though, right? Like
Oh
right out of front of
my
your business.
goodness.
Are you
Let
excited?
me tell you how beautiful Market Street is. We have brick pavers. We have landscaping. We have no trash cans yet.
They're coming, huh?
I hope so. They've put benches in. My biggest thing is ramps to get up to my business.
Yeah.
Like to get on the sidewalk, because we have pretty high sidewalks. They installed some ramps, FDA approved, and our golf cart fits on it, so that's pretty awesome. But it's like a whole new area, and it's so pretty. Y'all need to come down. How long has it been?
We do. We need to get back.
Last time we went was when we were on the cruise
Yeah.
for the shoot. We need to get down there. I was
Oh
just
my
there
gosh,
for
yeah, I was sick. I had the flu. I'm surprised I
yeah.
didn't give y'all the flu.
I'm thankful that you didn't
I
give us the
know.
flu.
I flew out of Galveston.
Speaking of the flu.
like two weeks ago with
Where'd
Skydive
you
Galveston.
I want to do that so bad.
We
Yeah.
flew
Destin
to
does
Conroe and threw a 96-year-old World War II veteran out of a plane. So
That's awesome.
It was fun.
Hey, here's a comment from Chris
Hey,
Glenn.
Chris Glenn. Hey, Chris Glenn.
He said, you tell him consider Maceo Sims, go Galveston, and don't forget to visit Guido's too.
That's right. Go to Guido's. Look, y'all, do the oyster challenge.
What is that?
I made it up.
What?
Yeah, I did. So I just, I wanted to, what was that? Oyster Fest.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did Oyster Fest. And before that, I eat oysters. My dad, we cook oysters every now and then. And I wanted to kind of do some recon. So where else to go for oysters other than Guido's?
Right.
So I sat down and I ordered, I had a friend with me. We ordered half a dozen of each of their oysters. It's expensive to do this, but you have to go through the whole menu of oysters and try each of their oysters. So the more friends, the better, the easier it is, because
Yeah.
the least amount you can get is 6 at a time.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I did this. I think I was too short, like 2 types of oysters short. And but do it. Try it. You will not be disappointed. The oysters panzini, oh my gosh, melt in your mouth. And their char grilled oysters cannot be beat.
Sounds delicious. I love oysters.
Oh my gosh.
I like them raw, cooked, grilled,
Any way.
fried, broiled. Like it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Barbecued. It's all delicious.
Yes.
Hey, I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
October 12th, our Talk of Taco cook-off.
Oh, let's taco about that.
Are you down?
I am so down.
Okay.
Let's sponsor
amazing.
it. Hey, Getting Sauced, we're going to participate. Surprise.
So if you go to talkoftaco.com, you can learn
Yes.
more about that event. You can register a team. You can sponsor a team. You can sponsor the event. Whatever you want to do, hey, we're open to it. We're teaming up with United Way, and this event's going to be benefiting them. It's going to be in Lamarck right here at KHEA Radio and Abundant Lives parking lot. So we have a ton of space. It's going to be family friendly.
So great.
Everybody's invited. So
tell me the
taco.
date one more time.
It's October 12th.
October 12th.
That's a Saturday. We're going to be open to the public 9 to 3, and the cooking starts at 8.
What are we calling it?
Talk of Taco cook-off.
Okay.
So if you go to talkoftaco.com,
Yeah.
you can read through all of that. It redirects to an
.com or on
Eventbrite.
the Facebook machine?
.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm on the Facebook on it.
Well, on the Facebook too. Yeah, you can learn
Cool.
about it there, but it'll link to that same link as well.
Perfect.
So it's easy. Just to remember, talkoftaco.com.
And so what does this entail?
So it's beef, chicken, seafood, and then there's an open, a chef's choice. So
No pork?
No pork. That can go in the open.
Chef choice?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's going to be fun because people can get creative. When you think of beef, there's so many different ways you can,
Yes.
ground beef,
I
beef
just
fajita,
made tacos on Sunday for church.
brisket. Boom.
So there we go. I'm excited. Look, when y'all announced this, I was just beside myself. So excited.
Yeah, and we know that you're amazing whenever it comes
Oh,
to
stop.
everything you do.
Stop.
And then you like to do these cook-offs.
I love cook-offs.
We'll show up to them just because we want to be attendees, and I'm like, well, there's consent
I
thrown down.
know. I love it. I love
It's
it.
really fun.
It's like that game time, go time is my
train for
favorite.
this,
You
yeah.
know, this is what I train for exactly. Hey, I want to congratulate you also for being 40 under 40.
Thank you.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it was
and weird?
fun. And you're like, welcome to the club.
Yeah, man.
You were in the inaugural
I
class.
was.
Yeah.
I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
And it was so I hate having eyes on me. I can handle it, but at
Yeah.
the same time when it's about me, I can talk about other stuff all day long. But me, I'm I get
Right.
weird little kid. So it was humbling though. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's neat, and there was a lot of congratulations, and I'm like, thanks. And it's like, I understand, and it's a great honor, and I'm like, for me, I meet a lot of people who do a lot of cool things
Yeah.
and give back to the community a lot, and I was like, Curt could be on the list. There's people that I work here in this building that could
Yeah.
be on this list. And,
Next year.
Obviously, you were on the list, and so that same feeling, and it's just like, thank you. Thank you, almost in a way I feel like I know people who are more deserving than me, but it's
Yes.
still a big honor.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, take it and soak it in because people believe in you and they see what you're doing is good. And you have to remember that, there's always people who, have achieved more and done more, but people are seeing you for what you're doing. And that's what's most important.
I
Yes.
will say this, Gardy. There was I put out there hey, nominate Gardy. I didn't understand once you nominate, they automatically are nominated. You just need to be nominated once. I thought the more that you're nominated, the
Oh,
better,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I put it on Facebook, and I talked to Galveston Daily News, and you were one of the people that were nominated the most this year.
That's awesome.
So, as much as it's weird to say, but, you do a lot for this community.
do.
And you deserve it as much as anybody else.
Thank you.
That's true.
Much appreciation to you guys.
Of course.
And now I got this cool little plaque. It's sitting in the kitchen,
Yes.
and so I don't know where to put
I don't
it.
know where mine is.
Are you entering into the Talk of Taco cook-off? Did I
Am
miss
I
that?
entering?
She said I'm winning.
Man.
Am I entering?
I was gonna say I want to sponsor. I want to do it all.
Yeah.
I'll enter. I
So we
mean,
got trophies, and then there's prizes as well
is
that are gonna go
cool.
with them. So we're stoked. There's gonna be a winner, first, second, third for every category. Then there's an overall. And Chris Delisandri with United Way, Galveston County is helping us, and he's been in a ton of cook-offs. So we're just like, okay, you're the expert, expertise. You know how this works. We like to promote stuff and talk about stuff, and we love tacos. Let's
Taco
go.
about it.
Let's go.
So
this is great.
if you want to register, if you want to sponsor the Talk of Taco cook-off, all you have to do is talkoftaco.com. I just dropped that in the comments.
Perfect.
So all you have to do is talk of taco, TALK of taco.com.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. I've had people be like, "Is it taco
I know.
Talk of taco.
Talk. Like you're talking.
Of Leak City.
And
Talk
then-
of Dickinson.
Yes.
Talk of Galveston.
Talk of taco.
Santa Fe. Talk of Taco. It just makes sense.
I love it.
So it's taking place October 12th right here on our campus. Hey, Concetta, what are you going to do if you win? Like with the prizes? Are you going to hang it up?
I don't know what the prizes are.
So it's a
Back to LA.
trophy.
A trophy will go up in the shop probably
Bragging rights.
where the rest of the trophy.
Are
No,
you-
we don't. I don't really have. I have some trophies at the shop and they're at my desk. I don't put them out like for customers, but I make
This
sure they're
might
at my
be one.
desk so my dad sees that I'm winning, you know?
Look what I did. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have some other prizes that we haven't announced yet, but they are coming and they will be rolled
Trust
out.
me, it's going to be worth doing it as a cook-off.
How do you become a judge? Maybe I should be a judge.
We need cook-off teams before we need judges.
Well, my team can cook and then I'll just judge.
That's not fair.
Well, I
You
won't cook.
know which one's that is theirs.
You like put a C on the inside of the
No,
taco.
you
when it's mine
cannot do that.
with hot sauce.
Okay, maybe. You've got. Oh my gosh, I just got the best idea.
Oh, brother.
I'm not telling y'all.
It's like, I'm going to win this thing.
I'm
gonna
telling
do
my team
Oh,
to do it.
man.
I'll be like, yes, we got this, y'all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No.
Hey, is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here today?
Again, I mentioned this at the beginning, but Thursday, if you are over 55, I'm teaching a garlic class at Ollie. That's the Oshner Lifetime Learning Institute in Galveston. Couple hours, over 55, you have to be a member of Ollie, but it's a great program for people, above 55. They have all kinds of different classes you can take during the summer and the regular year. My class is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
If I
that's
just wasn't printed in a magazine for being under 40,
I
then
know.
I would definitely try and sneak in.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, people probably wouldn't recognize them. I'm going to do it anyway.
And
With my mustache, can I sneak
You
in?
could probably, Kurt, you could
55.
probably sneak in. But wait,
Put some
one
gray on
question for y'all. 2 questions,
Yes.
and then I'm out. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Who's
fine.
this guy down here? Because we didn't get to meet.
This is Eldridge. He's
Hi,
our.
Eldridge.
Were you ever here for Maisie? Maybe not. Maisie was our intern.
Maisie
Yeah,
not.
Maisie is the lady, the girl.
Yes.
Yes, I remember her.
She was one of my former students. This is her brother, and
Okay, hi.
he goes to the school next door, and he's
Perfect.
been a wonderful help this summer.
Nice.
Better
Wonderful
than-
to meet
better
you at
than
the very
Maisie.
end. Oh,
Better
different,
than me.
different.
Better than me? What?
I'm so sorry.
I know. Who says that?
Golly.
Better than
Goodness
Ethan.
gracious.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
okay.
but wait, better than Ethan.
Where is Ethan? Is he
Ethan
still
is
out of
out.
town?
He's running. No.
Oh, he's here.
She
We
was running
literally
around
saw
today.
him like pop up and he was like, hi.
I was
I
like,
was
how dare
like, what are you doing here?
How dare you? You abandoned us like months ago. And
Yeah.
And then, are y'all gonna compete?
we
In the taco cook-off?
No, we're gonna be running
You don't
around
want to turn
with
in
our.
some Taco Bell tacos?
We're gonna be running around with our heads cut off that day.
I know.
Like
I know.
there's gonna be fires. I feel like
The
somebody.
bounce house
There
is on
always
fire.
is. There always is.
There's gonna be
Just
like
be
some
prepared.
cook-off team who's not gonna be happy, and we're gonna have to
Always.
like brush their hair and be like, "It's gonna be okay. You'll be fine."
Nah, you don't even do that. You just say, "Oh, okay, I'll get back to you."
And then run away.
Or we're
Like,
gonna
we
lose.
can't find
We're gonna
Or
lose
have a
trophies.
clipboard in your hand and just say, "Okay, I'll be right with you." And then, and what's on that clipboard? A smiley face.
I'll be like, Eldridge, he's gonna handle
Eldridge,
this. Ask
he'll
him.
handle
See
it.
him over there. He knows what's going on.
Yes.
Well, y'all, I think this is so great. I cannot wait to be a part of it, and I can't wait to share it and get as many people as we can in this cook-off. We want how many?
600.
1,000.
600. Okay, that's a lot.
600,000.
Slow down.
We want to be bigger than the Houston Lights.
I know.
Houston
I'm
Lights
like,
are
okay,
already-
well, all right.
Year one. Let's
There's
go.
300.
Year one.
Listen, when KHEA accepts our event co-host, lights out. Just
Lights
be ready.
out.
We just
Yeah.
got to get them to accept
So
it.
entry fees, anything like that?
Sure.
$100 to enter.
Not bad, y'all.
4 entries with you get all 4 categories with that. If you want more entries, it's just another $100.
Yeah.
So you can have as many
get as
cook-off-
many tent spaces as you want.
Mhm.
So one entry is one space, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then you can
we
do
got
multiple.
plenty of space if we needed. If you want to bring 30 teams, go for it. We got
Yeah.
the space.
Yeah, we've had people that have done like multiple turn-ins already, so we're excited.
Cool.
And then we're about it. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be fun.
Exciting.
And it's for all kids. Like you can bring kids because there'll be bounce houses
Yes.
and knuckerball or whatever.
I don't know what that is.
We're not playing that.
What is that?
This is KHEA Radio. It's not fun. 99.5 FM.
Thanks, y'all.
There was some. Yeah. Thank you, Concetta. You're the best.
Awesome.
Ha.
Ha.
It's knockerball.
Did I say knuckerball?
You did. I
I don't know what you said,
Knockerball,
but
it
I was
was,
like, I don't even know what this is.
It's a bubble that you get in the bubble and play kickball or like soccer, but you're inside of a little bubble, so you can go and like knock people over with your little bubble.
I see some broken legs with that.
I'm excited.
I'm a mom. I feel like mom brain goes into effect. Like
I would not let
my kids wanting to play water gun fights in the house. I'm like, are y'all nuts?
or bubbles. Have you? Yeah.
Oh no. I have tile. No bubbles. Yep.
Slip. Yeah.
So, all right.
We need
Thank you,
Concetta
Concetta.
to come back in again. We should schedule it every month.
I could do that.
I'd love that.
I'm good on Tuesdays because now I've scheduled my Tuesdays to be off site for like meetings or things like this.
Cool. Yeah. Because you're busy on the weekends, I'm pretty sure, huh? Are y'all open Sunday?
We're open every day.
What time do y'all
fought
open though? Because
tooth
I
and
tried to go.
nail.
I tried to go the other day.
We're open 10 to 2 on Sunday for brunch only.
Okay. Maybe that's what I missed. Me and my wife, because we ended up going to. When do y'all close on Saturday? 2 as well, or
5.
at 5?
Mhm.
I was going to karaoke at Bayshore Grill later. I was in Galveston,
Fun.
and me and my wife, we ended up going to Gypsy Joint, but we tried going, and I was like, yeah, but I don't know, we missed you because she hasn't been. I need to take her
She needs
because
to
she would
come.
love the market and spice and everything
Yeah.
else. So
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
you're the best.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
The rest of the day.
I'm excited for that the new video to come out. So we'll be anxiously waiting. Make sure you share it.
I will, definitely. And we'll see y'all later.
All right, see ya.
Good to meet you.
We're gonna be right in her same chair.
Bye.
Good morning. How are you doing? All right. What's your name? Joe? Okay, so what we're gonna do with the mic is just you can situate it to where it's comfortable, but you're gonna want to talk and move it up or down and where it's right close to your mouth there, even closer if you can. Yes, sir. So Joe, what's the name of your business? I think I learned a little bit about it already.
Texas Performance Coatings.
Texas Performance Coatings. And is that Curt was mentioning? Is that powder coating? Or
Yes.
what kind of coating is it?
Powder coating.
Okay, so what is powder coating?
Powder coating is a process of spraying a positively charged powder to a negative part and then putting it into an oven at 400 degrees for roughly 20 minutes at part temperature till it interlocks itself and turns into a solid mass.
What can you use that on?
It's currently used in lots of stuff. A lot of your refrigerators, stoves, washer dryers, all that kind of stuff is all powder coated nowadays.
So
It used to be a
powder coating,
ceramic.
I think I've even seen like car rims.
Oh yes,
You
lots
can
of
do
car
that?
rims. We do tons of car rims, motorcycle parts. Man, you name it.
Yeah. What about a guitar? Like if you wanted to powder coat a guitar, is that something you can do?
No.
No?
It has to be metal.
Okay, so it has to be metal,
It has to be able to survive 400 degrees.
400
So Nothing
degrees.
plastic, nothing rubber.
Okay. So
All gotta
mainly
be-
like parts of like cars and appliances.
Right. We get a lot of motorcycle parts, some industrial parts.
Yeah.
So
What's the benefit of it being powder coated opposed to I don't know if there's any other kind of coating or not coating it at all?
longevity?
That'll make it's a protectant.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It'll last, years. I've got parts on my personal truck that's almost 10 years old.
Really? And so it won't rust?
It will if it gets chipped.
Okay, got
After
you.
you break the surface tension, then the elements will set in basically.
Yes.
But it's very tough.
Cool. So for your business, like if I had a car part, could I bring a individual car part in, or do you only work with like I don't know if someone's like a manufacturer like ovens?
Oh no,
parts?
we work with any individuals. Any parts you want to bring in, nothing's too small. We do have a minimum requirement though.
Sure.
We can only do so much to turn that oven on. It does cost a bit of money.
So to get to 400 degrees.
Right.
Yeah. How big is that oven? I guess to be able to put like parts or big pieces. How big is that?
Right. The current oven we have now is 4 feet wide, 8 foot tall, and 8 foot deep.
Okay.
So we
And-
can handle just about anything.
Yeah. What's your background? How did you get into this?
Background's kind of interesting. Actually, I was a carpenter, running a custom cabinet shop. We had opened a off-road shop for my boys. Didn't work out. Cabinet shop went down. Big box stores came in. Quality went down. People didn't want to pay for it anymore. Started the off-road shop. We hooked up with another powder coater at the time, doing our parts for us. He ended up going out of business. We'd been helping him. The wife sat down and she goes, "Look, we can do this." So we got online, found an oven up in Missouri, took a weekend trip, ran up there and picked it up. That was 7 years ago, and here we are now.
Wow. So how much does that equipment weigh? What did you use to haul it back?
Just a big trailer.
A big trailer.
Big trailer.
Cool. So 7 years, you've been in business. You mentioned you had some sons. How many kids do you have?
Between me and the wife, we have 5.
5 kids. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they working with the business today?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Nope. They've all got their own hopes and dreams.
Okay, that's cool. That's
Yep.
cool. So whenever I think of powder coating and I think of like painting something, I guess, like something that I like to do is for it to look different, like customization, like, like stripes or I don't even know, flames or just like different sparkles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something y'all do there?
Yes, we have over 65,000 different powder coating powders that you can pick
options?
from. Candies, metallics. You can combine all that together to come up with what you want. We can do inset labels.
What's an inset label?
Like say if you want to put your name on something
Sure.
with a different color,
Mhm.
we can do that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Because these headphones that I have, they're like in-ear monitors, but obviously it's not metal.
Right.
But just whenever there's an option to customize something, I was like, yeah, I want like a rose gold with a sparkle, like a glitter sparkle gold in there. Just because if you can make something just a little bit different, to me, it looks cool. So
Right.
what is the, I guess the most common thing that somebody uses your services for? Like what do you do the most when people come to you? If it's a car part or something like that.
Wheels.
Like the rims?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rims would be our most popular thing. They do all kinds of stuff from simple flat black to crazy candy colors.
Yeah. Is that more cost effective than buying a brand new set of rims? And is that like more, I guess, more protected?
It's definitely a better coating because we're going to put it on thicker than the factory did. We're going to take our time. We're a custom shop, and we're going to make sure that it's done properly. As far as the cost factor, it depends on what kind of rims you're looking at.
Yeah.
Some rims can get up in the neighborhood of $2,500 each. So we're putting on a coating for a few $100s, and it really changes it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because powder coating rims, to me, it just sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds cool, but that can make all the difference. I think whenever you have a vehicle and you want to change something, like the first thing you should probably try is doing something with the wheels, like with the rims.
Yeah, that's what most people do.
Yeah, and it's instead of like painting the entire car,
Right.
and
yeah.
you can take your same rims that you have and then just bring them to you and you'd be able to work with them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. So
Yeah, a lot of the people that have Jeeps, they like to customize things, and they'll do all kinds of stuff.
Those Jeep Compasses, right?
yeah.
I have a Jeep Compass. I'm gonna bring it and get it customized.
There you go.
Well, hey, we got 14 seconds. We're going to go on the FM. We're going to introduce Joe and the business, so that way we can let everybody know. Maybe Curt will go get those custom rims painted. Let's go. Here we are. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 10:43 a.m. We have a special guest in studio. We just had Concetta Maceo talking about Maceo Spice and Import in Galveston, Texas. Now we're switching it up. We're going to be talking about powder coating. Curt, whenever you think of powder coating, and maybe you know exactly what it is, but I want to hear your definition of what it is first.
Powder coating is when you take like flour and then you put like dye on the flour and then you go and like spray it on a car.
That's better because I thought you were going to talk about powder donuts. But
it's basically like
it's like
powder
when I
donuts.
take a bite of powder donut and then there's powder covering and coating my mouth as I'm just like eating them. It's delicious though.
Right? Am I close?
So we got Joe in studio.
Yeah.
You own a business. Can you share the name of the business and what you offer there?
It's Texas Performance Coatings. We offer powder coating services along with Cerakote, which is a high heat coating, mainly for headers.
Okay, cool. When you say a header, like a header inside of a car or a header, what does that mean?
Header, exhaust header on a car.
Okay, cool. And you were telling us that you could even do anything metal, pretty much. Anything metal can be powder coated.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And how many different options are there? Like, I mean, it's as much anything you can think up, it can be done color-wise?
Yes, now the industry has improved itself so much. Now there's so many different kind of options. We have colors that transform color. They call it illusions. They'll change color from one color to another. There's candies, metallics. You name it, it's out there.
Oh, that's cool. I think I've heard it as like chameleon color.
Right.
Like you look at one side and it's like purple, then it's green, then it's blue, and you walk back and forth.
Exactly.
And that really stands out.
Right, right.
Okay, so here's a question. This is actually from my dad who's watching on Facebook. Good morning, Dad. He said, how long does it take to coat 4 rims and the back on the car? If you could explain like that turnkey process, how long does that take?
We try to turn rims in 3 days. We do that for most customers because they don't have any other way to keep the vehicle set up on blocks. We also offer the fact they can drop the vehicle off at our shop. We do a turnkey job, take care of everything.
Wow, okay. And, okay, so let's say you get the rims off. What's the process look like? It's off the tire and the wheels right there. What?
Yeah, rims come off the vehicle, tires come off, everything's stripped down, all the weights from everything. It's put into a acidic drip tank. Takes all the powder coating, all the other coatings off of it. After that, it goes to a media sandblast. We blast it back down to bare metal, and then it's recoated back with the customer specifications. Most steel wheels get a primer coat for protection, and then the color coat. Aluminum wheels will get their top coat of whatever they've selected.
Okay, and that can only take 3 days to do that. That's usually the turnaround on that?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Curt, I've wanted to have colored rims before, and what I did, my dad actually helped me, but the cheapest way that I did it, and obviously it didn't last, that long, but they make something called Plasti Dip. And so I just got some Plasti, and I've seen people Plasti Dip entire cars, and I was like, I'm not trying to do that. So I just sprayed it because I wanted to see what my car would look like with black, with black rims on there. Obviously, you could tell if you looked at it, but it just gave me that and that look. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I wonder if there's a permanent way to do this. So powder coating, with your business would have been probably the best option.
Yeah. Plasti Dip is a very short-term solution. It also can damage the wheels that you put it on. It happens.
Yeah.
We just had it set in last week. It actually ate into the metal itself.
So you have a background of being a carpenter.
Correct.
And when did you, I guess, start going into that field? And then can we talk about that shift into powder coating one more time?
That was back in around 2005. The big box stores had moved in. The quality of cabinets that we were putting out, people didn't want to pay for anymore. They were more concerned about just the bottom line price.
Yeah.
So at the time, we'd had an off-road shop started for my sons, and didn't work out. They went their separate ways. That's cool. And told the wife, I'm tired of doing this cabinets. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I've had enough. So we decided to go ahead and keep the off-road shop running. Took off with that. A couple years later, we started offering powder-coated parts for a lot of the lifts and suspension parts that we were doing. Mm-hmm. After that, we got our own system and took off from there.
Cool. So can you talk about the custom cabinets just for a second? Because that can be expensive. Because custom cabinet or woodworking, I mean, it's a skill that you can't just learn overnight.
But here's the thing: you can have custom cabinets. You could be driving around with a normal Jeep Compass, or you can have an amazing Jeep Compass that's been customized, right? What's better?
Exactly.
What is better, Curt?
The customization. So you do powder coating on a Jeep Compass. What can I get to upgrade the Jeep Compass?
Well, anything that's metal. Of course, your wheels, bumpers, just depending on what you got.
We talked off air. I want to touch on this a little bit. You guys used to do Yeti cups. Do you guys still do Yeti cups as well?
We still do cups. We're not a Yeti dealer anymore, but we still can do the cups.
So if you bring in a cup or hey, this is metal, you can coat anything metal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's the weirdest thing that you've ever been asked to coat that's metal? I could see a sword or something like that. I don't know.
The weirdest thing.
Or just something out of the ordinary. You don't see this every day. Someone's not bringing in a baseball bat or something.
I got an antique hat stand in one last few weeks ago.
That's pretty neat.
Cool.
So can you walk us through the process on getting something unique like that and what you guys did?
Same process for the wheels basically, except you're being a lot more meticulous about it because it's an older part. The hat stand was built back in the 20s, so it was definitely an older part you want to take care of. Had a little bit of corrosion. We were able to repair some of that and keep the owner happy.
Okay, cool. Where do you see the future, I guess, technology of powder coating going? I mean, I guess they can come out with different, I know you said there's about 65,000 different, colors or stuff that you can all mix. Is that something that they've been changing like every 5 to 10 years? You see like, oh, this is a new brand or a new technology of the coating?
Yeah, they're experimenting with more and more coatings now that are more resilient, longer lasting, also more colorful, where you can mix your own colors.
Oh, here's a comment on our Facebook stream. This is from Shelly. She said a bathtub. Somebody ever asked or done that before?
Shelly's my wife.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, we did a clawfoot bathtub too.
That's awesome. Because those are really cool. You know, I've had one of those before. Whenever I was living in Houston with some roommates, we had like a clawfoot bathtub. It was not powder coated, but it should have been now that I know that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how there's you said it was like a 4-foot oven? 4 foot by?
The oven's 4 foot by 8 foot.
So you can fit anything that's in that range in there to get powder coated, but it has to be metal is the only thing.
So I'm 5'9.5".
If we lay you down.
If I lay down, if you power coat
Dude,
me.
it's 400 degrees, man. You wouldn't work out good for you.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good situation.
So we have a partner called Legacy Collision, and they fix up bumpers, car repairs, and they
collision.
They
Right.
Paint the bumpers and stuff like that, parts of the cars. They have a pretty big room, right? To paint a paint room. Is that kind of what we're talking about? It's a little different, right?
It's a little different. We have a spray room ourselves. It's dedicated just for that. It's not as quite fancy as a spray booth is, just for the simple fact that you don't really have to be that into it.
You literally don't have to get into it. Like, actually, you probably should. You don't need to get into it because a spray booth, you had to, we were all in. They have a pretty good size one. I don't know if that's the only one I've ever been in, but there was like 4 of us, in there, and they're painting. We're actually capturing some video of it.
Oh, cool!
It was a pretty cool process,
right?
And the process for powder coating sounds like it would be a lot of fun to watch. Is it?
It's definitely different. When you shoot the powder coating, it actually wraps around the part.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're shooting? Does it come out of like a spray gun, like you would be painting a car?
Not quite. A little different kind of gun.
Okay, but it is like a gun type thing.
It's definitely a gun, yes.
And it wraps around it.
Yeah, because your magnetic attraction between the positive and negative, it wants to suck around it.
Wow. So it's using some science that I definitely don't understand, and it somehow works. It protects it and makes it, I guess, last a bit longer, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right now it's 10:52. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, good morning and thank you for tuning in. Feel free to hit the share button, hit the thumbs up, hit the heart react. Let us know what you are up to today. Share this in a group. If you're a member of a group like Talk of League City or Galveston, or maybe you're in a powder coating or customization group, feel free to share this in there so you can let them know what is going on in our area. We're talking about powder coating right now.
So I'm looking at this video. It's from your page. Texas Performance Powder Coating is the name of the page, correct?
Right, on Facebook.
So if you search for that on Facebook, you can find it. It says, no boring black here, an F250 Pro Comp Kip Kawasaki green. Ooh. Came out really nice and bright. What can we color for you today? What's going on here? Like, there's a whole bunch of parts that are neon green.
What? That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's for a custom truck for one of our clients.
That'll turn some heads for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned Jeep people.
Jeep people love to customize their vehicles. The Wrangler crowd, they'll do bumpers and wheels and you just name it. We just did an older CJ conversion for a guy, and he did some custom fenders and Nerf bars and everything. 2 colors, come out beautiful.
Do you ever see the Compass crowd? I know you mentioned the Wrangler crowd.
I was just going to say, can you imagine if I did my rims like neon green with my red Jeep Compass?
Oh, man.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? I would love driving around with that.
We can hook you up.
I think those are parts that your car does not have.
No, I'm talking about the rim, like the little thing on the car, on the tire. So just the tire piece is green, neon green, but the rest of the car is red. That would be hilarious.
Okay. I haven't looked. Yeah, you don't have hubcaps, do you? I was trying to think. I was like, Curt, do you have hubcaps? No, you have rims. You have wheels on there, right?
I don't think there's.
We can powder coat your out here.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually did a car one time. They put 2 wheels of one color on one side and 2 wheels of different color on the different side.
Really?
Did you advise them not to? Like, it'd be like
that was their thing. They wanted to be different.
Yeah, that's definitely different.
It was cool. It was kind of cool.
So if I brought my car in, you could do my rims neon green.
Sure.
How do I have to come in with my rims off, or can you do that right there
Just like I said before, we do have an option where you can drop your vehicle off. We do everything turnkey.
So it would be there for about 3 days, and you can leave the car there. They take care of it. And whenever you get the car back, you'd be riding around neon green in style, turning heads, shocking people, and they're wondering what was that guy doing. And you can be like, go get your own powder coating. I thought of it first.
That would be dope. Okay, man, can you imagine neon green? The value of my car would skyrocket.
That is true.
There will never be another Jeep Compass with neon green rims.
You would definitely be different.
He's like, no, it's gonna be bad.
Is there ever anything that somebody comes up with and you're like, you know what? Are you sure? Like, are we sign here? Make sure that we're on the same page because I'm gonna give this back to you exactly what you asked for.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we have some weird color combinations, and it's like, you like that idea? I'm like, this is your vehicle. Whatever you want to do, I love it.
Doesn't matter what I like.
It's kind of like going into a hairstylist, and they're like, I want my hair to look like this, and they're like, okay, can you please sign this waiver?
Exactly.
Do you have to sign a waiver when you bring your stuff in?
No.
You might want to think about that because if I come in with my red Jeep Compass and get the neon green, and I'm like, yeah, that looks really bad. Let's fix it.
You do sign a contract saying this is the color that you approve, and that's what we go with.
This is the amount that's due,
right,
and all that stuff.
So we can't talk specific pricing. I know we got about 3 minutes. I want to know is roughly, is this something that's affordable for people to do, or is this something that, hey, like maybe you should have some money set aside or something like this?
It's a lot cheaper than buying a full set of rims. Usually about a third of the cost.
Wow. And can you go back to the normal color, or is there a way to, like,
Sure.
if you decide, like, hey, I don't want to do this? And do you guys do that at your shop?
Yeah, we can strip it down and put it right back where it was.
Really? That's so cool. I like it. I want to come and check out your shop. It's located in Texas City. Where are you guys located?
We're at 813 9th Street North in Texas City.
I wanted something done to my wheels, but now I have that weird hole in the well that's like a pinhole, and so I keep having to air out my tire because I'm like, is there a way to fix this? Just need to powder coat it. put a coating so the air won't keep going out of my tire. I'm airing it up literally every week and a half. I'm just like, the air pressure's dropping.
They can't fix it?
Well, I need to take it in. My hope is that they're not like, you need to buy a new rim, because that's like the worst case scenario. I don't want to buy one new rim. It's expensive, dude. Wheels are expensive.
Power coat it.
No, just like put a coating on it, like a Band-Aid. That's all I need. Hey, is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here today before we end our show this morning? Well, thank you.
Okay.
And what's the business name one more time, and how can they find you on Facebook?
Facebook is Texas Performance Powder Coating, and in our actual name for the company is Texas Performance Coatings.
Hey, well, we appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with us. And I am interested to find out how much this stuff costs. So whenever we end this stream, maybe you can hit us a message later. But this is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Bethel.
For y'all tuning in on Facebook tomorrow, we're going to have Kathy Turner from Impact News, and Dickinson ISD is going to be coming in talking about all things that you need to know to get ready for the school year.
Back to school. All right, Facebook. Y'all be blessed.
Love
Have a good
y'all.
one.